I'm gonna say this right now, man. Every time my road spirits are able to get a hold of ass in the spirit plane, every time I go to his Instagram, he keeps throwing me off. Well, his Twitch page, and my screen recorder keeps failing. With that being said, as I was saying before, I noticed that the last time he posted was at the start of this curse, and when I was in jail, there were times where I felt like if I was to go to sleep, like I had a critical case going on the next morning, and it was a felony case, a trumped up one, because the people around there didn't want me. And that was, I'm just going to say it like this. That was, some of the people around there put something on me. I got a big fat German woman by the name of Ingrid Heiberg. I got a Rasmussen. It was a group of people that were phone calling me at the start of this curse. And I wonder if they have anything to do with the California Southern Institute. But anyways, with that being said, when I first went to jail in 2022, that was the start of the curse. And I started getting fucked with by entities that would keep me up all night to the point where I couldn't sleep. And I couldn't go to court for major cases, to where I could just, get a slap on the wrist and get off as I should have gotten, because there was really no, the situation that they said occurred, put everything on video, did not occur. And so, with that being said, there were times where while asleep, I almost couldn't wake up. I almost didn't wake up. I remember, there was one time where let me get back to this page, because this is depressing. This is very fucking depressing. I remember, my consciousness is so fucked up in part because of that wetback bitch. But I'm working on with that being said, as I was saying before, there were times where I almost wasn't able to wake up. And I remember one time it was for a crucial case I had to go to, court the next day. They would make me inexplicably stink and all of that, to where they would, put me in a lockdown place where I couldn't meet the judge outright, because I was inexplicably stinking despite taking 2 showers a day. I remember not being able to sleep literally the entire fucking night. And I remember when I was able to close my eyes and I was about to go to sleep, they did something where they shot my third eye to the point where I was astral traveling through it. I almost didn't wake up, and I ended up in the realm where I saw some of my ancestors, or at least entity attachments of them, tied to a wall and all of that. And I talked somewhat about it on Astral World, and I felt like if I was to be there, I would not wake up. So that curse is very, very real. With that being said, I noticed that I'm gonna say this. Due to that wetback bitch, I don't feel like I'm just gonna say fully in the world of the living. And I'm saying that to say I've been seeing videos and all of that look like they come from different timelines. It reminds me of that film, one of my most auspicious favorite films coming from the early 2000s, The Butterfly Effect, with Ashton Kutcher, who's hot and still hot to this day. And in that film, it shows that through some psychic ability, or as I said before, you have entity attachments of your ancestors within you as well as externally. They live on your hair. Your timelines exist within you. If you know how to manipulate yourself from within, you can also time travel, astral travel, and all of that. You can use 116 hertz and combine with 119 hertz to be able to astral travel, get your soul out your body or your spirit out your body. Anyways, with that being said, I don't feel like I'm fully in the world of the living, and I've had many situations that served as evidence of that. Like when I was conversing with a guy who I've known for quite some time, I said something to try to evoke his true nature, and he said to me in a very weird robotic way, where he twisted his head around, he says, "I'm an entity attachment." Just out the blue, and he's never acted like that. He's a normal fucking person, as normal as can be. Ain't spiritual, ain't none of that. With that being said, I'm saying that to say I don't feel like, and there's a word for it as well. I forgot the name of it. Where somebody who's known somebody for all of their life, all of a sudden has some quote unquote brain disorder to where they don't recognize that person. And I'm going to say this affirmatively. My brother as an adult did not sound like this. And again, he's supposed to be a firefighter in New Orleans, married to a very modest Haitian woman. He doesn't look like he moved out of our, well, not childhood, because when they moved to Covington, Louisiana, that's when Hurricane Katrina had occurred. It doesn't look like he moved out of his childhood room. Not childhood room, but out of his room with my parents at their old home. And this don't sound like him. I remember the way he sounded, even as an adult, going back to 2012. When that curse was on my brother, Brian, I was told that he saw a fucked up version of my father who met him as a police officer. They keep talking about the police officer in the spirit plane that is going to be used by Illuminati or some shit to fuck with people. Where he looked tortured, tormented. He had a crazy look on his face. I also saw a doppelganger of my father going back to 2002 or 2003 when I was at a gas station in New Orleans East, where I grew up. But anyways, with that being said, he met my father with a crazed look on his face with his poor little NOPD uniform. And so in his NOPD cruiser, he drove him to a police station and raped him. So something got to be done about this shit to avert all this evil shit happening in the future. Because I remember my parents in that timeline astral traveling because they targeted them. My brothers, Kristen and Carrie. So I know something. There was a soul swap. I saw that in the spirit plane and something happened. That's why I got to get rid of this Maria Paraffin bitch, because it's enough evil shit that I have to deal with anyways to begin with. And to have her come in with her selfish shit and compound it for her own, to buttress her own selfish interest along with her lower self, from what I understand, she either, paid or accepted money to try to sacrifice me, some shit like that. Some got to be done. I heard supposedly she went to a tarot reader and paid her to try to do something about me. So some got to be done. So with that being said, These little roach spirits that she's been trying to get rid of have been trying to do something about her. So as I was saying before, something happened with my poor family. Now, I'm going to say this right now. You know, I heard that in Covington, Louisiana, they got like a white car, even though they had nice cars, and packed up and left for California to see me when I was no longer in my body, but this, you know, really, thinking that I had hit it big time and thinking that they could celebrate with me. You know, both of my parents, they weren't in their body. They were being covered by ancestors at the time under bare insanity. It's a very fucked up, traumatizing situation, and that's why I don't need this bitch's higher self as well as herself on me. I really fucking don't. But anyways, I was saying what I was saying to say that I noticed that since 3 years ago, he hasn't been posting. And that in many ways confirms that curse is motherfucking real. And that something weird is going on. I'm going to check his YouTube channel to see, 2 years ago. He hasn't been posting since 2 years ago.
Hey, good morning to everybody.
Yeah, that looks like my parents' home in Covington, Louisiana.
There are legitimate reasons for you to even address them, but really it's just that you're just...
That's my little brother. Oh, boy, this brings back so many memories. I remember. Let me hear how you sounded back then. I remember when I was really big on YouTube, he used to follow me and say, "Hey, sister," in his little way. Oh, that's my little brother. Boy, this brings back so many memories, man. So many positive memories. I'm gonna let nigga speak. There he is, right? He was always a little intellectual.
It's very, very difficult.
That's his voice. That's my little brother's voice. I even heard that Maria paraphrase higher self, that higher self, and she has been fucking with me. I even heard her say he sounds more like a man.
Taste in music.
That's him. That's the voice I grew up with as a kid. Sound like my mother, boy. This brings back so many memories. I still sound the same from my youth.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God.
It's Big Brother We again. So I just want to go...
Wait a minute. This nigga was not on fucking YouTube going back to 2008. I remember when, you know what? Looking back on it, I remember I lived in New York at the time, and I remember when YouTube first came out, 2007, from what I recall. I actually got a painting that looks just like that on the wall. I'm going to get it tomorrow and hang that up. But anyways, with that being said, this is very, very depressing. This feels like walking down memory lane. With that being said, what the fuck is this?
This isn't a video about one thing, but rather this is just...
I remember.
What I would advise everybody to do.
I remember I had to do an audition video for a film in New York, and they wanted me to upload to YouTube. And little did I know I would become kind of big in the early days, like the Amazing Atheist and all of them. I remember my boy Happy Cabby. Unfortunately, he succumbed to suicide. And what was it, 2014, he reincarnated into a much better place. And I want to mention too, as an aside, that young girl that Tupac did a rap about who got murdered by them Korean shop owners for shoplifting. She actually reincarnated into a timeline where there was no racism, and into another one where it's hyper advanced and they have flying cars, and it's set in modern day, but their technology is extremely fucking advanced. So she moved on to a really good place. I saw a video about her today that reminded me of her. But anyways, with that being said, this reminds me of much better times. You know, I was under bare insanity, but it was a lot fucking better than what I'm going through right now, because it's just pure fucking hell. Now, with that being said, the reason why I bring that up, and it's depressing too, because, you know, it's just crazy that he's no longer doing Twitch videos since the start of this curse. Now, here's something that's extremely motherfucking odd that I noticed. I looked up his name to see if he posted anywhere else. Now, we already visited his Twitch, and we already saw the last time he posted was 2-3 years ago, back at the start of this curse. Like I said, I kept overhearing that people, you know, out there in Topanga, they be doing sacrifice. I talked about that, you know, my Treese Richardson and all of that back in the day, and that's when they really wanted to get rid of my ass. And on top of that, and a lot of them knew what happened to her, but they wouldn't spill it because they big into all of that evil sacrifice shit, and they be using roach attachments. But with that being said, you know, when I got to jail, I kept overhearing that, what was that fucking man's name? Villanueva, Sheriff Villanueva didn't want my ass come, you know, to survive jail, but they had deputies, Hispanic deputies, who made sure I survived the night, each and every single night while there. They were counting on me not to make it out. And I did something dumb on August 22nd, 2022, gave into an unusual drinking urge that would change overall consciousness if you didn't give in, and ended up in here in this situation, getting soul swapped. And I know that's real. I know that timeline is real. I know it's real. Now, anyway, speaking of soul swap, we can see that the last time he posted was 3 years ago. Now, right here, it's saying that he posted a month ago, and then in 2024. And we're going to go ahead and check and see what they mean by that. We're going to see view all videos. 5 years ago, you can see 5 years ago, 3 years ago. 5 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, somebody tried to turn me on to Twitch, and, you know, it did nothing. We're going to try to check clips. I don't see not one motherfucking clip. Reminds me of Clips for Sale, by the way, which I used to be on and no longer am. Got rid of that. All right. That's kind of odd that when I go on his page, I can't find these recently updated videos. Now, this reminds me, I saw this in the spirit plane with Adele and with Kanye West and with myself. That's how I know that timeline is real. When a person is soul swapped, they'll use a moniker of that person where you can't see that person's full face, and therefore their personality and their true soul consciousness. It becomes all substituted and fake and artificial. Now, I notice that since the curse commenced, you know, it's just very odd that he posted recently and it's not showing. They're using a witchmacalling of a man. What they call it, a vector image. isn't that funny? He says, unless you got a time machine, that content is unavailable. That's just, he's using, I don't want to say mimicry, but he's using an image of a man without showing his face, a representation, but he's not showing him. And it's funny that these videos supposedly got posted, which I can't find, by the way, after I got soul swapped. As I said before, I don't feel like, because of Maria Paraffin that plays Archangel Miguel, Britannica at Broadway, 8704 Broadway, something happened on May the 1st, 2024, because I don't even feel like I'm in the land of the living anymore. Because I'm seeing it's been a lot of weird shit. Aztec death mask, seeing people morph and change and alter like they would in the astral plane. When walking around while they're driving cars and all of that. Just a lot of weird anomalous shit. And there was something else I wanted to mention as well, but it's going to come back to me. I don't feel like I'm in the world of the living. And I feel like I'm being shown things like in that film, The Butterfly Effect. I don't know if, as I said before, the timelines exist within you, entity attachments connecting to you to your ancestors exist within. Therefore, you can time travel within. Everything starts from within. Your outer world starts from within. With that being said, looking at this on the surface of it, it feels like this is something I'm not supposed to see, but I'm able to see. Because how is it he posted, but I don't see it just doesn't make any sense, and it's been up there for quite some time. I heard in that timeline that he had the same but worse, unusual alcohol and drug urges on top of that imposed on him as part of this curse, this sacrifice debt curse that I'm under. And from what I understand, in that timeline, going back to August 22nd, 2022, my parents, they all got into a car, left Louisiana. They were no longer in their bodies at that point, and saw that I had risen in fame, what they thought was me, but which was obviously not. And started living in shelters, started doing drugs. And I've been seeing, I don't want to say entity attachments, but symbolic representations of that, of people and various things day to day. But there was something else that cemented the fact that I'm no longer in the world of the living. I can't remember. With that being said, this kind of affirms it going back to that timeline, because he hasn't posted in 3 years. Supposedly, he's supposed to be a firefighter. He would still keep a presence. And I actually had a dream of New Orleans firefighters coming to help me with this curse. So something happened. Something happened. He hasn't been posting for quite some time. And then inexplicably, to see that he posted when he didn't, and to see that these videos that he supposedly posted are not up, where it's revealing, I don't want to say a mimicry, but a simulation of a human, a representation, a blank, hollow, an image of a person, but not the full person. That to me conveys something is telling me that timeline that I keep sensing where I got soul swapped is real. What I'm saying is real. And something happened to my family. As I want to say, he's supposed to be a firefighter. He would still keep a presence. He would still be on YouTube. He would still be doing what he do. And he hasn't really been doing that as much. He would still be on Twitter, not Twitter, Twitch. And he hasn't. And that's really depressing. And it's confirmation that to me, something happened with that timeline. And that he and we are no longer in our bodies properly as we should be. I was shown my soul consciousness is no longer in mine. From that timeline, the timelines that I had in that timeline are no longer in me. They're no longer a part of me, and I keep getting extricated from it from a reason. They're supposed to be attached in you if you're in your body. They're not, meaning they're somewhere else. When I see, because you have your ancestors in your family, and I even keep hearing the spirit play, my parents are my ancestors going back to that timeline, so something happened. Whenever I have entity attachments of my parents come to put me back together, my family, because you have various interconnections to them as well within, they always are stuck in some hell realm and can't do shit themselves, for themselves, let alone for you. The problem is that Maria Paraffin, she fucking with my little roach spirits right now. She keeps, that's why I say I already got enough trauma as it is. I don't need this wetbag bitch fucking with me. And I had people in the spirit plane come, recently to help my ass out. With that being said, I'm just gonna say she did something to fuck with the timelines and all of that. I don't need this shit. I don't need this shit. I don't need that evil ass motherfucker coming in and causing any more problems than what I've already suffered and what I've already gone through. I'm trying to do something about one problem already, and to have somebody for their own devious ass selfish interest. I've seen the Illuminati in my timelines today. I tried to get at her ass, so did my little roach spirits, and they couldn't. I don't need it. And then to go after my fucking family in the spirit plane, especially going back to that timeline where they're vulnerable. There was something else I wanted to mention too, but she keeps, I heard in the middle of the night, she was trying to control my full consciousness, but they kept blocking it, them roach spirits. I just don't need that evil ass shit. Like I said before, I heard that she paid somebody to off me or she got paid to do it or something. She went to somebody for a tarot reading, and she paid them to try to do something about me. With that being said, this is very, very revealing and crushing because, I don't want to come to terms with this shit, and reveals the truth. 3 years ago, that was 2012, the start of this curse. This is when me and my family were in a better place, when I knew we weren't in a very bad place. And this just kills me that this is confirmation that a curse occurred because he ain't posting anymore. I want to mention too, look at this odious subliminal spiritual message I got when I was trying to look him up. I was, as my consciousness is all fucked up and I'm tired, typing Big Brother Gianni, his Twitch name. And this was one of the inadvertent search results that came up.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Big Brother, and in a few days, 2022 will soon come to an end. We had a very unusual year pertaining to current events, gaming, movies, and anything else in your personal life.